Hey guys, welcome back to the CulePodcast. Welcome back to another video. On today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about Barcelona's match against Osasuna tomorrow, and then as well looking at some of Hansi Flick's words in his press conference before that match. And then as well, we're going to be talking a little bit more news about Thiago Alcantara, then as well Barcelona's search for a striker. Who is that going to be? But guys, before I get started on the video, make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. Everything is posted down below in the description. Go over there and check me out. That way you guys can stay up to date with everything that I do on the channel. But guys, let's get straight into the video. All right, guys, let's get straight into the video and let's look at some of Hansi Flick's words in his press conference before that match against Osasuna. And he talks about that record of 8 wins because, as you guys know, Barcelona right now, they have, they're absolutely perfect in La Liga, 7 out of 7 wins, and he could potentially make it 8. He talks about Osasuna and he says this. It's always good to win. We don't focus on whether it's a record. They're a team that has taken 10 points out of 12, and I know that the fans are very supportive in their stadium. I like the atmosphere. He continues on. He talks about the quality with the players. He says it's about quality, and the players have it. We're happy to work with them. They follow our instructions, and we follow them closely. It's great to be Barca's coach. And a key topic that we are all having, Flick talks about rotations because with all the games that Barcelona are playing, guys, Barcelona they are going to have to rotate. Pedri was rotated last game. You also saw Lewandowski come off, and some of us are thinking, hey, could they be next? Could Lamine Yamal be next? Barcelona, with so many games, they are going to have to rest their players in order to be, at 100%. And Flick says, obviously, there will be some rotation. We have to do that. But we also need experienced players like Raphinha or Lewandowski. We have to see how they are, but we are ready for tomorrow. And so right there, Hansi Flick is pointing that there was going to be some rotation. Pedri, he is most likely going to start in tomorrow's game, and he's most likely going to be partnered with Marc Casado. But I wonder who else is going to be rotated. Could Jules Koundé be rotated? Is Lamine Yamal going to be rotated? It's very interesting to see that. And now Flick, he talks about the return of Frankie de Jong, the return that we are all waiting for, and then we're all having so many questions about. He says, "I like what I saw in training, as did Gavi. They are increasing the pace in training. In Frankie's case, he is close. We will see next week." And so Frankie de Jong potentially returning for that game against Young Boys, or even potentially in the week after. But it's I'm not putting any rush in Frankie de Jong. I'm expecting him to be back after the international break, or at least training with the team, during these next upcoming weeks and everything, just to build up that match sharpness and everything. And just like with what Hansi Flick did with Ansu Fati, and just having those extra training sessions, that way he is able to get that fitness and match sharpness back. I think that's something that Hansi Flick is going to do also as well with Frankie de Jong. Flick now talks about the UEFA sanctions because Barcelona, they have sanctioned Barcelona due to that issue against Monaco. He says, "I think Elena Fort, the vice president of Barca, gave the right answer. I don't think it's worth adding anything. Elena did very well." Flick now continues on. He talks about Marc Bernal. He says, "I think he's doing well at the moment. It hasn't been easy accepting the injury at his age. At first, you think it's all over, but now he's positive and has a long road to recovery." And Marc Bernal, he did visit Barcelona's training sessions. He was just there overlooking everything. And it's such a shame that Marc Bernal, he did, tear his ACL, because Marc Bernal was having an absolute amazing start to, the season. And he was becoming a vital piece in Hansi Flick's system. And we wish Marc Bernal a speedy recovery, because we could have an absolute gem on our hands in Marc Bernal. Flick now, he talks about Raphinha and Marc Casado. He says that that's what we have in hand. We're giving the players the options of recovering with treatment without having to be on the pitch. Tomorrow we'll have activation. We'll use the ball to do some rondos, and then we'll see how they are. But I hope. Wait, oh, my bad, guys. The thing just messed up. But I hope they'll be ready for tomorrow afternoon/evening. And so Hans is potentially looking at arresting Marc Casado and Rafinha, two players who have been playing a lot this season. Flick now talks about Endrick and Vinicius. He says, "I'm only focusing on on our team. We have to do our job, and that means winning at Osasuna. The rest is not going to change." And I like that approach. Let's not focus on what Madrid is doing. Let's focus on what Barcelona is doing, because as the footballing is showing, if Barcelona, if they are able to do their things well and are able to just focus on themselves, Barcelona, they're top of the league. As long as we do our job, worry about anyone else, and that is reflective in the La Liga standings. But also, soon they are going to be a tough test tomorrow. They are currently seventh in La Liga, 3 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. They are going to be a tough opponent, but it's going to be completely different than Osasuna. They are going to be a little bit more offensive, and hopefully we can see Barcelona back scoring a lot of goals. And Flick talks about the signing of a goalkeeper. He says Iñaki can be a goalkeeper for the whole season. Why not? That's good. The confidence he'll having in the games. As for another goalkeeper, I don't know. We'll have to wait. And that battle between Iñaki Peña and Chesney is going to be very, very interesting. Chesney, he's coming in to be the backup, to Iñaki Peña, but that does not mean that Iñaki Peña's starting spot is completely certain. They're going to be battling for that number one position, and competitive in top level sports is amazing. And we're gonna have to see who's gonna be the number one goalkeeper, whether that's gonna be Iñaki or Chesney. But Barcelona right now, in regards to the whole goalkeeping situation, it's going to be very interesting to keep an eye on. And as well, moving on, Flick talks about Jules Koundé, a player who has had also an absolute amazing start to the season, who's been an absolute machine. And I love how Hansi Flick is talking about Jules Koundé, because in every single moment he talks, about praise on Jules Koundé, and he basically talks about the fantastic work that he's doing. And Flick says, "Tell him to rest." After the games, we want him to rest, and he tells us no, that he wants to be on the pitch. He is a great professional. He takes good care of himself. It is not unusual, but he is very good. And Jules Koundé is one of those players, guys, who has not been rested. He's basically been playing every single minute for Barcelona. And in that right back position, it's a very demanding position, and you have to not only track back and help defensively, but you also have to be, an offensive outlet, help out Lamine Yamal, and you're going to be doing a lot of up and down running. And Jules Koundé, we absolutely know what an absolute beast he is and the physical condition that he is in. But he is going to accumulate a lot of minutes, and that is something that we are going to have to look at in order to rest him. But if Jules Koundé, looking at how he takes care of himself, looking at how much physical preparation he puts into his body, then Barcelona, they are in good hands. Flick now talks about the emotional aspect on the players. He says, "Maybe it's better to ask the players. I'm not sure. My team and I do our job. We have a fantastic staff. This environment in which the players can grow, they trust us. Our idea of convincing football is the basis for creating an environment in which everyone feels at home." And the vibes in the atmosphere, they're very good. And with Barcelona's wins following the atmosphere, then it creates a good vibe and everything. Barcelona, they're winning. Hansi Flick helping the players and everything. Things are just going well at Barcelona, and that just builds confidence. It builds momentum, and as long as we keep on going like this, then Barcelona, they are set up for success. And the last quote from Hansi Flick is in regards to the change from Ter Stegen to Iñaki. And Hansi Flick says, "It's the same with De La Fuente. He is also included in our staff. He works and has worked with the best goalkeepers. Iñaki has also been in all the meetings we have had. In the last game, you could see in the last game that there was a very good connection between Iñaki and his teammates." Okay, interesting. He didn't really talk much about that change, but that's Hansi Flick. He doesn't really give much away. And tomorrow's game, it's going to be very interesting. I am going to be making a watch along for that match. And guys, who do you guys think is going to be rotated for in that match? Do you think it's going to be Marc Asaro, potentially Jules Koundé, or Balde? Let me know down below. And as well, score predictions. How do you guys think that game is going to end? And as always, I will be doing a watch along for that match, and so make sure to tune in. But now, guys, I want to be talking about the striker position, because right now Barcelona, Their starting striker is Robert Lewandowski, who's having an amazing start to the season, scoring seven goals in 7 games. Robert Lewandowski has a breath of fresh air, basically reborn, under Hansi Flick. And right now, a report came out from Mate Moreto saying that Barcelona, they are searching for a forward, but they're not looking actively for a forward yet. We do know that Robert Lewandowski is going to be turning 37 next year and in 2025. And depending on the 37-year-old striker, even though Robert Lewandowski is an absolute beast physically, I don't think that's the right option. We have Vitor Roque with the option to extend, and we have Paulo Victor in the squad, but we don't know how that's going to turn out. And we do know that a lot of fans want, for example, Gyökeres from Sporting, who's having an absolute amazing start to the season, but he is going to be very expensive. And Barcelona, they are going to have to look for that striker and look for that replacement of Robert Lewandowski. And we're going to have to see, is that going to be Roque? If he does well at Betis, is that going to be Pau Victor? Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. And then as well, have I mentioned a striker that you guys would want to see? What other options have I not mentioned? Potentially, Julian Alvarez from Atletico Madrid. I'm just throwing names out there. I don't think that's going to happen, especially looking how he just moved to Atletico. But for example, what striker would you want to see replace Robert Lewandowski next season? But the last piece of news I did want to talk to you guys about is in regards to Thiago Alcantara, because Thiago Alcantara, at the start of the season, he was part of Hansi Flick's staff. And right now, a report from Mundo Deportivo is saying that Thiago Alcantara will return to Barcelona in January. He will return to his staff. And right now, he is taking part in the staff meetings, but through video conferences. And he had to go back to England due to tax-related issues. That's something that I didn't know. At first, reports were saying that he just wanted to take a break and everything, as he just retired from football. But if Thiago Alcantara, he is able to, to add to that staff and just basically, help that transition, help that language barrier, and help Hansi Flick with the youngsters, then I'm all in favor for it. We saw that relationship that he did have with some of the Barcelona youngsters. And imagine having a figure such as Thiago Alcantara mentor your Gavis, your Pedris, and even your Marc Bernal potentially. But guys, that was it for the Barcelona news of the day. Definitely let me know your guys' thoughts on everything discussed on today's video. What do you guys make of Hansi Flick's words ahead of that match against Osasuna? What do you guys make of Barcelona's pursuit for a striker? Who do you guys think that's going to be? Is Barcelona right now, they're keeping tabs. They're analyzing the striker situation. And lastly, guys, Thiago Alcantara to return to Hansi Flick's staff in January. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. And as always, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out, guys.